What is going on, YouTube? I am back with another video, and this time I am talking about the NFL playoffs and who I think will be the contenders, the people that make the deep run, and people that have pretty much a little chance, but not really, honestly. So I took a tier list from a random place online and basically just threw all the teams into their respective conferences, and I'll just run through the list real quick of who I think will be contenders, deep runners, and Cinderella stories, and ultimately I'll make my predictions of who's going to be the Super Bowl champions this year. But let's start with the Dallas Cowboys. Man, oh man, Dallas Cowboys. They have been a really interesting team. They're quietly one of the best, like a really good team. I mean, it's very tough when you have four teams in your conference that are 12 plus winners in total, and you see a team like the Buccaneers be 8-9 and taking that fourth spot. Personally, I think they should just make it like they should stop giving division champions the automatic home games, and they should just do it by best record. But that's an argument for another day. Either way, though, the Cowboys are 12-5. When we look into how they did this year, their schedule, they lost to the Bucks. Honestly, the first few weeks are becoming less and less relevant now as they've been adding more and more games. So honestly, I don't really take too much of take on like some of these games in the beginning, but you can see that they kind of went on streaks. They've been like a consistent team. Their losses have only been, losing at the end of the season's all right. They already had their position locked up essentially, but the Jaguars, the Eagles, and the Bucks being three other losses the whole season is pretty good. There's nothing really to say here, honestly. However, I think they'll be like a deep run team. Maybe they could possibly get out of the first round. Let's be honest, but like, can I see them go to the conference championship? I don't know. I just don't. It's going to be tough. It definitely will be tough. They're going to be playing against the Vikings. No, not playing against the Buccaneers. Yeah, years away. And honestly, I could see them winning that game pretty easily. Unless Tom Brady does something miraculous, it's just, I just think the Cowboys are overall a more sound team. And as things shake, I could possibly see them maybe getting to the conference finals at most. So I'll throw them in a deep run because I really don't see them beating either the Eagles or the 49ers in the NFC Conference Championship if they even get that far. Now we're going to look at the Ravens, and they are a very definite Cinderella story team, and it is a tragedy that they are the case. They're 10-7. They're looking like an overall sound team. However, without Lamar Jackson, it's really tough. Like how you can't really expect, like a Tyler Huntley or who's even their other quarterback. I don't even know who their other quarterback is. Oh yeah, Anthony Brown, I believe his other quarterback is. Either way, like they don't have a sound, like definite backup quarterback, and towards like they looked like a solid team. So I'm definitely gonna put the Ravens in a Cinderella story team, and it's a tragedy that is the case because Lamar Jackson's such a great player. He should be leading this team to the playoffs, and they should be at least a deep contender, at least being that middle tier at most. But unfortunately, with a backup quarterback, you can't be losing games against the Browns, the Steelers, at the end of the season when you're fighting for like really good for like higher seeds, and and basically like the Ravens have a good defense. They have the pieces. They could do it. The only problem is it's on Lamar. I'm very interested to see how Lamar Jackson's next contract is going to pan out because he's going to be paid a lot of money. I'm not sure if he's going to come back to the Ravens. The Ravens have been so iffy, and when it comes to injuries, it's just like, is it worth sticking with Lamar? But as you can see, where Lamar brought them only so far, and towards the end of the season, after he got hurt, they lost a lot more than when Lamar was actually playing. How are you going to replace him? I don't know how you're going to be able to replace them. Are you going to just tank and blow it up, or are you going to give them the money? And I think you're going to give Lamar Jackson the money, 100%. But regardless, with a backup QB, there's just no way. There's just no way. I just can't see it. Now, the San Francisco 49ers, believe it or not, I got them as a Super Bowl contender. And I know this sounds crazy, but it really just seems like for the San Francisco 49ers, you can just literally put anyone at quarterback and they will go far. Yeah. So the reason why I'm putting the 49ers in the Super Bowl contender is because, look, they're 13-4 on the whole season. They automatically get their first round is against the Seahawks, which they should be able to just take care of. And as things shake, their biggest problem is probably going to be the Cowboys. And then it comes to the last conference championship, and you know what? Depending on the way that Jalen Hurts could be playing, or if he's even playing at all, depending on injury, I can see the 49ers moving on to the Super Bowl. So overall, it's just like, for the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan's such a great coach. He really is. Like, he's he should be on that upper echelon of coaches. And regardless, it just seems like no matter what happens, they're just going to just be amazing. Like, even like the beginning of the season when they had Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo as their quarterback, like, you could see there was just like pretty much all their losses came. And then they got hurt. And then Brock Purdy just came in. They haven't lost since. It's hard to deny results when you see them beating everyone ahead of them. Have they beat any crazy teams? No, I wouldn't say they have. I mean, Seahawks is probably the most impressive team they beat on this entire win streak that they've been on. But regardless, I just don't see any of these teams, like most of these teams, really competing with them besides the Eagles, to be completely honest with you. And now our next pick is going to be the Chargers. And I hate to break it to you, Chargers fans, but yeah, Chargers are a Cinderella story. Let's be honest here. I've seen way better Chargers teams in the past fall apart way faster. And, granted, most of the time they're going to the buzzsaw as the Patriots. But the Chargers are just one of those teams that are unfortunately cursed. I just feel like they really have to prove it to me, at least by making the Super Bowl, if they actually mean anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough. I mean, they're a pretty healthy team right now. And regardless, it's just like kind of just look at the schedule. And overall, like, they lost to the Niners, they lost to the Chiefs. They lose to good teams, and they beat the teams that they should beat. But at the same time, I just don't see it. Losing to the Broncos at the end of the season is kind of tough. I mean, again, losing to the Raiders, like, I just don't really see it. It's tough when Russell Wilson is cooking, and let me see this here. Last game of the season, whoever played all right. Basically outdueled by fucking Russell Wilson. And I just don't see it. I just really don't see it, honestly. Like, who would they be playing the first round? They are the 5th seeds. They're playing against the Jaguars. I mean, completely honest with you, I don't even know if the Chargers even get past the first round, man. I think the Jaguars have some magic in them. And you know what? I'm just going to do it right now. The Jaguars, they're a Cinderella story team as well. I don't think they'll get past the second round, but I could see them beating the Chargers in the first round, honestly. And when you get past there, you start thinking like, okay, the Jaguars are the 4th seed. They could get lucky, and I can't even get lucky, man, because the unfortunate reality is that I just think all the home teams are just going to beat the away teams in the first round. It's just, so you have to face the Bengals if you're lucky, if like some way, somehow, someone gets knocked out. But even then, if the Bills or the Bengals get knocked out, actually, Yeah, no, I just don't see it happening. Regardless, though, it's just like the Jaguars is that perfect middle seed where it's like they're comfortably better than the teams below them, but they're worse than the teams above them. So now next we're gonna have the Vikings. Man, the Vikings. If you are someone that watched my predictions video, which I doubt you have, I'll put the link in the description below. I said that the Vikings were not going to win the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to make the Super Bowl, actually. I don't think I even put them as as a team that'll make the Super Bowl. And regardless, you look at their record, 13-4. How are they not going to at least be a Super Bowl contender? But then you kind of just look at the schedule and you just see like losing to the Lions, which the Lions have been a feisty team this year. I'm not gonna lie, the Lions have been feisty, but can't be losing to them. And then you kind of just look. Cowboys are a good team. Packers, that's another game that you can't be losing. Sorry. And one of these things too is that most of these games that he's winning are 1 a.m. games. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of the 13 wins for the Vikings were at 1 o'clock games. And you look at the prime time at 4 o'clock games, 1-1. Actually, I could throw in. It's funny enough, actually, when you look at it, right? So they won their first game of the season, which, again, like, these games don't even matter to me, really. Like, I wouldn't even count those, but you see over here, they lose a 4:25 game here. And then they lose Saturday at 1 o'clock. And this game is a tragedy for the Vikings because they should have won this game. And then you lose at 4:25 against the Packers. So honestly, I think they could get past their first, they get past the first round. But like honestly, once they get past the first round, they're kind of done. I can't. There's no world that I see the Vikings going beyond a deep run. So yeah, I'm putting them here. Let's get the Chiefs out of the way. They're obviously a Super Bowl contender. Patrick Mahomes having a crazy year as per usual, even without Tyreek Hill, because Travis Kelce is just that much of a generational talent, and they just have enough talent around to, waltz into another 14-3. Mahomes is going to win MVP for the year, and rightfully so. And, as you can see, the Chiefs are just the number one passing offense. Rushing offense, not great, of course, but when you have the number one passing offense, you don't need a great rushing offense, really. Even so, Kansas City's 20th. I mean, not great, of course, but that's fine. And then, is there defensive stats on here? Yeah, scoring. I feel like it's some scoring. Kansas City's not per se scoring the most. Let's see. Let's go points. Oh, what am I saying? No, I'm a big fat liar. Of course, the Chiefs. Yeah, the number one scorer, number one offense. Well, of course, they're the number one scorer on offense. But regardless, yeah, Chiefs. As much as people don't want to, I mean, they're such a great team. I don't even hate the Chiefs, honestly. They're such a great team. Mahomes is great. Andy Reid's great. They just have such a great system there that there's no reason that the Chiefs wouldn't make another Super Bowl contender, if not win again. So now we look at the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, they're a Cinderella story, let's be honest. I mean, I am a massive Geno Smith fan. I am so happy that I find it one of the most hilarious storylines this whole season is the fact that Geno Smith was able to take a garbage Seahawks team into the playoffs, along with some great running with Kenneth Walker. And the team just held it together. They just held it just enough. They're able to get in. They got a little bit of luck, with the Lions doing as well as they did this season too and knocking the Packers out. Pete Carroll's a great coach. He's been doing it forever. They have a lot of injuries. But that's fine. No one's really seems to really be out. And you just look, and it's like, beginning of the season, they kind of started off slow. Then those 4 weeks, those 4 legendary weeks, the Cardinals, the Chargers, the Giants, the Cardinals again, Geno Smith was just generational for those few games. It wasn't even anything like that crazy, but Geno Smith was just that perfect like quarterback you needed. And then there was another run where they kind of started to fall apart, but then they won when they needed to against the Jets and knocked the Jets out of the playoff contention and then beat the Rams to go in. So like I love the Seahawks story, but again, they're not. No way they're getting past the first round because even then they have to beat the 49ers. Like there's just no chance. No chance. But I like where the Seahawks are trending. And you never know. Maybe with some with great off season or something, maybe they could do something and maybe they could host a playoff game next season. You never know. So now we hope the Dolphins are not a Cinderella team. I'm not even gonna bother even waxing poetic about the Dolphins. They're lucky to even get it in the first place. That week 18 was garbage. That week 18 game to even get in was absolutely garbage and miserable against the Jets. And again, with Tua out with all those concussions, like it's the same story as the Ravens. If Tua was there, maybe it'd be a totally different story. But since they're relying on a backup quarterback and the rest of the pieces around them aren't enough to lift the backup quarterback, I just don't see it. The Buccaneers, yeah, they're a Cinderella story. Let's be honest. I mean, they're just happy to be there. They're lucky to even be in there for the sake of just how the rules work. That since they had a garbage division, they could just get into the graces of Tom Brady throwing 800 or 700 times and, pretty much bailing them out. Because we just looking at it like they have no business really even being here. Even looking through like total yards and just like the passing yards for Tom Brady, like he's one of the top 5 passes in the entire season again at 46. And their rushing is garbage. Their rushing is just terrible. Look at all these rushing yards. They only went over 100 rushing yards twice in the second half of the season. And then their only other time they went over 100 yards was the first time. 3 rushing yards against the Chiefs. Like, again, if Tom Brady was 10 years younger and had help, maybe he would do something. But no, there's a Cinderella story. No chance. The Bengals, they're a deep run team. They're definitely a deep run team. I can see them making the conference championship. But, yeah. They're just one of those teams that, unfortunately, since they started slow, they are only a 3 seed. But regardless, I just don't I know they went to the Super Bowl last year, but they were lucky enough that the Chiefs and the Bills had to play against each other, and you had to play against either or. But now with the way that the conference with the seeding lies, hold on, yeah. So bang bang. So that'll be first round. They're gonna beat the Bengals. They're gonna beat the Ravens, and then the second round, it's gonna be maybe the Jaguars. No. No, they're gonna have to play both the Bills and the Chiefs to get it. So, since they didn't have to play the Bills and the Chiefs last playoff run, and they have to go through both of them, I don't see them making the Super Bowl, unfortunately. But now we go to the Eagles, and they're a Super Bowl contender. I mean, Jalen Hurts, they're lucky enough to have this first round bye for them. They're very fortunate to have that because of how great they've been playing. Even without Jalen Hurts, they're able to mitigate. They're able to mitigate for long enough that, he came back, and while he's still beat up, was still able to deliver a win. So with the extra week off, Jalen Hurts gets some rest, and barring any injuries to him, I can see the Eagles making the Super Bowl. I can definitely see that. And then the Giants, they're a Cinderella story. Let's be honest, because the Giants, they're gonna have to go on a tough. They're gonna have to be a man on a mission to get to the Super Bowl, to even get to the deep run. Let's be honest. You have to First, they have to play the Vikings, which again, maybe they can get past the Vikings, but regardless, so you get to that divisional round, and then now you're facing the Niners, and then if that doesn't work, and then if you somehow beat the Niners, and you have to beat the Eagles, you have to run through a gauntlet to even get to the Super Bowl. And so many things have to bounce their way. It's happened before. They had a miraculous 9-7-1. That's one of their that's their basically their danger zone is when they're 9-7. But let's be totally honest with ourselves. Daniel Jones is not the guy, and he could be the guy if everything else falls into place. But I just don't see it. And last but not least, we got the Buffalo Bills, and they are an obvious Super Bowl contender. The Bills again look unstoppable this year. Now they're 14-3 season. Oh no, 13. That's right, it's 13-3 because of DeMar Hamlin's injury. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. It happens. That's the nature of the game. It's very dangerous. DeMar Hamlin unfortunately could have been dead, but fortunately he's not dead. But he was for 9 minutes, and he could have died. But fortunately, they got to him just in time, and he's still alive. The miracles of the world. But regardless, as you can see, they went on a crazy winning streak at the end of the year. They didn't play anyone in particular that's like really jumps out. That's like, Detroit Lions is probably the best team of that last winning streak. But like, regardless, like, they're so good. They have a winning culture, At the very least, they'll be in the conference championship, in my very opinion. And, it's like, this is how I think it's going to shake. And now I'm going to go for who I think will be, Oops, hold on. Still trying to figure this out. The Super Bowl champion. Super Bowl matchup. No, I'm going to do Super Bowl matchup just to tease you. Super Bowl matchup. And after that, we're going to go Super Bowl champion. And then let's see. Do we have a gray? Yes, we do. Oh, baby, that nice and cold. That beautiful Lombardi gray. Yeah. So since I already have it how it is, I feel like this is very like 2-2. I feel like this is a very safe championship conference championship playout. So if it really comes down to the Niners and the Eagles, it's tough because again, is the system perfect in the 49ers that Brock Purdy can do it? Can they do it? I don't. It's tough. Like, the 49ers, they definitely, they're head and shoulders above their division. There's no one else really there to really give them like that real struggle within their division. I don't believe they seem to really hold that down. So, yeah, I mean, the only team that's really been like a true force to stop them is the Chiefs. And then the Eagles, we're looking at the Eagles kind of mood, how they've been running things throughout the year. They've been kind of like started off hot, of course, and then, I don't really take much with those last two losses. Really, they only lost one real game, and that was the Commanders. Like, I don't see why the Eagles, barring anything drastic or any crazy events, I think they'll be in the Super Bowl. And then from the AFC side, the Bills and the Chiefs are a coin flip, man. They really are. They're both really good teams. And I just don't really know. In my honest opinion, I just think the Chiefs are just a better team. They're just a better system. They actually won it all. And now we come down to Eagles and Chiefs. Yeah, Chiefs are gonna win it. There it is. I think that's my ultimate tier list. Um, you know, I think I don't think there's really gonna be any real surprises. I mean, you never know at the playoffs because there's only one game per week or per series. It's not like other playoff sports where you have to play at least 5 or 7 games in a series to move on. So yeah, I mean anything could feasibly happen, but if it was like in a vacuum, my hunch says the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl this year. Simple as that. And yeah, so that is the video. I hope you guys enjoy. Peace.